Hello, everybody. November Charlie 4 X-ray Lima, NC4XL, North Carolina for extreme lovers. No, I'm not. Okay, ROVE. What is a ROVE? Most of you experienced activators already know what a ROVE is. And you new hunters might not have an idea, or maybe, but anyways, I'm going to stick my nose in it and just talk about it. And activators, pay attention because I might give you some hints on how to make it happen. Remember the first thing about a ROVE. It is affected by propagation. None of us control that. We only get to play with that. And for those of you that go on a ROVE, don't just go out with a 20 meter and 40 meter antenna or a hamstick and think it's going to happen real easy, because you got a rude awakening coming your way. So let's start talking about just the first ROVE. That's what we call the simplest one, so to speak. 5-park ROVE. The first thing you remember, the ROVE goes between UTC time, period. The first full UTC day. UTC 24-hour period. Not the 24-hour day that most all of us think about. So let's just throw some what ifs in the pot. When you go out, if you're able to get up on the East Coast, everything that I'm talking about is East Coast. I don't know the Midwest because I haven't activated out there. I don't know the West Coast because I haven't activated out there. So the information I'm referring to is going to come from the East Coast. A lot of your senior activators can give you a lot of free hints on how to make it happen. So let's say you're ready to rock and roll. You have an ATOS on the car, so that gives you multiple bands, or you have a buddy stick, buddy pole, or ham stick, and you're ready to go. You've got several different ham sticks, so you're pretty well got everything in line. Make sure that where you're headed to, you take some mosquito spray or bug spray, just in case you're going to try to do it from the tailgate of the truck if you're driving a truck, or find a picnic table real quick. Real quick, listen to that word, real quick. Hit and get is a term that you'll hear a lot of times when somebody's going to be looking at a 5-park ROVE. How close are they? That's going to be one of the elements. How many miles do I have to drive between parks in order to accomplish the task of making 12 or 14 contacts? A ROVE does not constitute you sitting there for 2 hours and trying to make all the contacts that you can, because it's the number of parks that you activate within the same UTC date. Okay? So if you go to a park early in the morning, 6 a.m., and people think I'm crazy, well, talk to Diane and John. They're always there. Talk to Miguel in Florida. He's on there at 6:30 in the a.m. Talk to Devin, KE4JT in North Carolina here. He's on the air at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning and making contacts, because bands starting to open up. A lot of the BKs across the pond are still on 40 meters that they haven't gone to bed yet. Go there, work your first park or parks. If you're in a twofer at your very first park, and you make 15 contacts, you got 3 more parks to go. If you're at a threefer, you got 2 more parks to go, because each park in a twofer or a threefer counts as an individual park. Now let's say you leave that park, it's a twofer, and you go to your next park, which constitutes one of the same parks, and a new park. That's only going to give you one additional park. It's not going to get you another twofer, even though you're in one. Okay. Now, be prepared to use multiple antennas and hit and get. Get your contacts. Tell people you're going ahead of time. Get on Discord for those of you that are on Discord to let people know you're going. Get on your local repeater. If you're in a community area where you have several parks and you got several of your friends that are interested in helping you, get on 2 meters simplex. Get on 440, 220. There you go, and operate on those bands. Add those two, get your contacts. If you're on a crazy notion to do it during contest weekend, very simple. Get into your park that you're at and go work all the contesters real quick. They don't care if you're in a park. They could care less. They just want to contact. So you don't even have to tell them. Just go work them, log it in your book. You're good to go. You're not looking for a report card from them. You're looking to be able to justify an actual contact with them. Get your 10 or 12, move on to your next park. Now, let's say, for instance, you and your family decided to go camping and you're in the park and you're already set up. You're at a twofer where you're staying at, camping overnight. You start after 0001 UTC, new date. So you're sitting there at the campsite in the twofer, you run the park, boom, boom, and get a lot of contacts. You have to get up early in the next morning to continue adding the other 3 new parks to make it a 5-park ROVE. And if you're ambitious enough and you know the area well enough and you want to go to a 10-park ROVE, remember this, have the antenna, be prepared to change the antenna. If you're on ham sticks, go check all the bands out, 20, 40, 15, 10, 17, 12. There is possibly somebody waiting who will follow you. There are many hunters who chase people that are on ROVEs, especially if they know that that party is going out for a ROVE. So do not be bashful about saying, I'm going out for a ROVE. If you're running QRP, I want you to take a deep breath. QRP is you're capable of doing a ROVE. It's just a little bit more difficult because your signal doesn't get out as well as going QRO. But again, propagation is what you want to look at. If you follow the bands in the morning on the East Coast, 40 is starting off at 6:30 in the morning. Rock and roll. It'll run you up to about 1400, 1330, 1400 as a general rule. And then you got 20. 20 will run most of the rest of the day up until just before the end of UTC time for 40 meters. So keep that in mind. An hour before the new UTC date, you can go back to 40 if you're in a different park or two. 15, 20 will get you a lot more DX. If the band is open on 10 and 12, you can stand to get some DX there. Remember this, activators. You're the one doing the uploading of the log. People are going to be itching to find out they got you in the log. Don't worry about it. You get your logs uploaded when you're done. Because I have done a 10-park ROVE. And at the end of the day, I felt like somebody smacked me upside the head because I put 163 miles on. And that's where you try to plan your park. Again, if you have restrictions, limitations, no trees, no spikes in the ground, run off the tailgate, sitting in the car, 100-degree temperatures out, there's a lot of variables. Thank you very much for listening to this little talk about ROVEs. But once you upload your logs, activators, generally speaking, within a good 15-20 minutes after they've been uploaded, you should go to your awards page, click on the word awards and see your ROVE there. Your PDF should be ready for you to download, print, and share with the rest of us out here. We appreciate anybody that's crazy enough to go out and do a ROVE. 5 is not too bad. It can stress you out depending on miles. But 10, 20, and I'm going to pat some people on the back like James and James, Canadian James, I'll put it that way, that'll do 30 and 40 parks in a row. So 73s, go out, have fun. Remember, that's what amateur radio is about. November Charlie 4 X-Ray Lima, NC4XL, North Carolina for extreme lovers. Oh, I'm not. Just Dom, 73s.